Hi, folks. Thank you again for coming on to season three. Today, we're going to speak with Rebecca Whitman, and we're going to find out what she's all about. But there's one thing that we did talk about is burnout. Burnout is a huge, huge problem in the United States, or I should say around the world for that matter. How do we overcome that? Why do we need to overcome that? Well, we will know when we get onto the episode with Rebecca on Back to Basics. I'll see you there. Hi, folks. Thank you again for coming on to Back to Basics. We're almost done with season three. Almost. We're almost there. Today we're going to talk about burnout. I've talked about burnout many, many times from season one till season two, and then definitely on season three. Now, the more and more I talk about it, it seems like it's very important. Well, yes, because burnout is a real thing. You want to call it a disease, you want to call it a repo, an exercise, or whatever it is a real thing. So today I want to speak with Rebecca about the details when it comes to burnout, because honestly, there's no right and wrong answer. There's always a different way of thinking burnout. So, Rebecca, how are you? And thank you for coming to Back to Basics.
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm thrilled to be here.
Of course, of course. But before we get into the basics of the burnout and the topic today, what does Back to Basic mean to you, Rebecca?
Back to basics means keeping it simple. I
Mhm.
think when life is simple, it's a lot easier. When we make it too complicated and get too far into the future, we get a lot of anxiety.
Mm,
And I really like your podcast because it just gives people simple tools for living a better life.
mm. Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. And thank you again for those kind words.
Mhm.
Rebecca, let me ask you this. Do you think this is a Gen Z thing or this is a everyone thing when it comes to burnout? Because I've been told many different things that youngsters, they are not really capable handling pressure. So what are your thoughts on that part?
I don't think it's a Gen Z thing. I think every generation from baby boomers to Gen X to Gen Z to millennials all struggle with burnout because we have so much pressure in our society to achieve and perform and to look good. And people are just, sacrificing their joy of life and sacrificing their joy of health to get results.
Mm,
And everybody can burn out.
mm.
Any generation.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again for that. But what do you think the reasons are for the burnout? Do you think that we get pressured by the the filters that we do on Instagram or TikTok or even TV for that matter, or the news telling you that the world is coming to an end type of situation? What do you think what either is?
I think it's the same as it's always been, people wanting to look good, whether it's keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up on social, but I think now that everybody's addicted to their phones and social media, it's amplified. People see people on social, standing in front of the fancy house and the fancy car and going on exotic vacations, and they're like, "I wanna have that too." And I'm going to just hustle and grind and work myself to the bone so I can get that. And what they don't know is a lot of those mansions and cars are not even the person who is standing in front of them. They're just posing on social media. So I feel like we're all presenting and we're not actually a lot of us being authentic about what we do have and what's important to us.
Yeah, thank you again. So you're telling me that I should just go to a restaurant and eat my food instead of taking a picture before I eat my food?
Yes, you can just eat your food and, you can share. I mean, I love social media, but instead of bragging on it all the time, you can also just share your thoughts, your feelings, your vulnerability. That's
Mm,
what people will fall in love with. They're not gonna fall in love with this, fake perfect life. They're gonna fall in love with the realness of you. What is not going well in your life.
mm. Yeah, thank you again for that. Let me ask you this. Why did you choose the burnout in your life? I mean, you advocate that you can overcome that, but how can you overcome that if it is a everyday thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I advocate for it because I used to struggle with it and I still struggle with it. I still want to achieve big things and I can, overschedule myself. And I have overcome it by being very deliberate about my schedule, setting work days and play days, setting, and if you can't take a whole play day, take a play half a day. For example, yesterday, Friday, was my play day. So I had massage, I had yoga, I had just unstructured downtime at home where I'm relaxing. Take a play day. If you can't afford to take a vacation, take a staycation. Just take breaks. I think of life as a high intensity interval training class. When
Mm,
you're in a high intensity interval training class, an exercise class, you do bouts of exercise that are really intense, and then you take a break, and then you go back in and you do more intense exercise, and then you take a break. And I think of creation like that, with whether you're creating a family or launching a business, you can be super focused and super productive and have a focus day, and then you can take a break, and
mm,
you can even break it down by the hour. So I like power hours. You have 60 minutes, and I use the Pomodoro method, 25 minutes of focus and 5 minutes of rest. So you set your phone and you do 25 minutes of focus work, and then you take a 5 minute break, and then you do another 25 minutes of focus work, and then you take a 5 minute break. And when you give yourself breaks, you stay rejuvenated, you stay alive. People do not want to do business with someone who's like, do you want to do business with me? I'm so tired. I just want to go back to bed. Where's my fifth cup of coffee? Like, that's not interesting for people. That's not going to attract people to your business or to your
mm,
love life or your social life. So you want to stay rejuvenated and stay high vibe.
mm. Yeah, thank you again. So, which means that we need to be more excited every day so then we can be better in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about every day more and more excited because
Yeah, 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 of
you'll hit
course.
the max, but yeah, you get to be excited about your life. And part of the climb to success is very mundane. There's a lot of rejection, there's a lot of outreach, there's a lot of repetitive tasks. So how you get excited about that is your vision. What is the big picture? Like, what are you really trying to create? I'm a big believer of vision boards and writing affirmations and really writing down what it is that you want, so you keep your eye on the prize. Because if you just get caught up in the mundane of making outreach calls and getting rejected, then
Mm,
it's easy to give up.
yeah, thank you again for that. They're in the corporate life, they're coming up with creative stuff to not have burnout, right? What do you think the new way should be when it comes to the corporate world? Talking to each other, because technically CEOs, they don't really talk to employees. They just talk where their presentations or their PowerPoints. What are your thoughts on that part? Do you think that it should be a human level so then we have less burnout and people are more open to talking about their struggles when it comes to work, when it comes to their personal life also for that matter?
Yeah, I think talking about it is important. People feel they have to at work, act like everything's great. And oh, yeah, if their boss says, do this, do that, yes, I'll take it on, I'll take it on. And it's okay to say no, it's okay to delegate. You don't want to take on so much at work that you don't even have a personal life. I don't believe in the old corporate paradigm is work hard for 40 years and then you retire at age 65 with a gold watch and a pension plan. And then for the last, 25 years of your life, when you're not in your peak health, you can like enjoy your life. I really believe in enjoying it now. And that means having some boundaries around your job. Like, no, I won't work all weekend. No, I won't work all night on this. Like, and if you get fired, then I would say that's okay. That's a toxic work environment if they're expecting you to work like after hours and on weekends.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But if you take that same concept for family members or family time, Do you think that we should be more open there? Because there are certain topics where people don't want to talk about money. You know, trying to explain to them that what my preferences when it comes to sexualities, because there's a lot of people don't talk about that. People, they don't talk about that. If I want to purchase something, is it okay for me to do it? Do you think that we should be more open? Because otherwise, that's a real burnout in the family.
People get to talk more. I agree. If people wanna talk about money, or people wanna talk about their sexuality, or people wanna talk about their goals and dreams, they should be able to talk about that, and I suggest having a weekly family meeting
Mm,
where people get to bring up, what's not working in the family dynamic, what's working, what's on their heart, celebrate wins, what are their goals. Absolutely, there should be a time and place in the family dynamic where people feel safe really communicating. I feel like now everybody's just so busy and running around and going here and there that people don't actually get to connect and talk. And
mm,
isn't that the whole point of having a family, is to have a place to feel safe and connect and talk? And sometimes too, families are toxic. Like if you're not heterosexual and you don't want to have a traditional job, then they don't want to hear it, and that's okay too. You don't want to keep bringing it up to them and feeling judged. That's why I like to say that friends are God's apology for family. So
mm.
you can actually find friends that you feel safe and loved by, and you can talk to them about what's really going on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for explaining that, because I it seems like we have the power of talking. We should talk. Yes, maybe the answer, you don't want to listen to that answer, but you'll never know until you ask, right? Because I think that's what it is. But thank you again, Rebecca, for that. You know, we started a rapid fire for season 3, and I wanted to go and start this game if that's okay with you.
I love it. I love it.
Okay,
Let's
awesome.
go. Rapid fire
Awesome.
away.
Okay, so the first word, it's going to be called burnout. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Tired, exhausted, no energy, not excited about anything, feeling like everything's a chore.
Hmm. Okay, social media.
Social media is pressure. It's looking good. It's keeping up. It's not real.
Okay, podcast.
Podcasts are the golden age of information. They're self-expression. They're anybody can be a star. They're having a platform, giving a platform and a mic to the every person.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you again for that.
Mm.
Presenter versus real.
Presenter versus real. We talked about that. Presenting is what people do on social media. They want to act like they don't have any problems or any issues or any struggles. Real is every human, even the most famous, wealthiest people, they have problems, they have struggles. It's just part of the human condition.
Hmm.
And it's authentic when you share those struggles. I have a struggle right now. I just was looking at my social media and I saw a party that I wasn't invited to. And I'm like, oh my God, that hurts, Like I get rejected, I get abandoned, I get judged because I'm really going for a big dream. And a lot of people don't, agree with it or like it. And that's just part of it. Everybody feels rejected, everybody feels left out, everybody feels judged.
Hmm.
And it's just part of the human condition.
Okay, time management.
Time management is essential for success. Time management is everything. You want to be a student of your calendar, you want to study it. And again, I'm not perfect at that. I had a call scheduled before this and I didn't study my calendar last night before I went to bed and I missed it. So, again, the stuff that I teach, I too get to work on. So, time management and studying your calendar and time blocking and creating time. When you're committed, time expands. So
Hmm.
when you say I don't have enough time, that's not true. Everybody has enough time. Why are some people, creating, multi-million dollar companies and some people working at McDonald's? It's how you use your time, and that's time management.
Okay. Habits versus routine.
That's a great question. No one's ever asked me that, Girish. Habits versus routine. A routine is comprised of your habits. So, habits are little things that you can stack that add up to a good routine. I'm a huge believer in a morning routine. I have so many habits that I do in the morning, from like my skincare routine to drinking lemon water to taking my supplements to writing in an abundance journal, which I'm going to gift to your listeners. It's an incredible tool that I discovered 30 years ago, and it's just completely changed my thinking from negative to positive. I try to read something positive from spiritual literature, and then I go exercise. Those are all habits, but they comprise my morning routine.
Yeah, thank you for that. The power of hours.
Yeah, power hours, or the power of hours. Like, you can get, if all you have is 5 hours a week to dedicate to your goals and dreams, you can create a six-figure side hustle, which is something that I teach, how to create a six-figure side hustle. If you can dedicate 5 hours a week, which is not a lot, obviously the more hours the better, but the power of hours, hours add up over months, over years, over time, and it's amazing if you're focused and you don't check your phone and you really have a power hour. It's amazing what you could create in just 5 hours a week. You could create your dream body, your dream business. You could go on dates with your future, soulmate. It's just, yeah, just give me 5 hours a week and you can change your life.
Okay. Rejection.
Rejection, it's part of life. Rejection is feedback. And feedback is a gift. So if you're in a sales job or a business where you're getting a lot of rejection, you're learning what works, what doesn't work.
Mm,
So one of my favorite mentors says there is no rejection. I either win, I either get what I want, or I learn. So
mm,
rejection is how you learn. It's not, we make it scary and hard and painful. That's our ego, but
mm.
you just learn about people and you learn about what works and what doesn't work, and it's feedback and it's neutral. It's our story about it that makes it feel painful.
Okay. How about power of no?
No is a complete sentence. So one of the biggest things I've learned on my spiritual journey is not to defend, justify, or explain my no. If I don't wanna do something, I don't do it. I don't do anything out of fear, obligation, or guilt. If it's not a heck yes, it's a heck no, and I walk away from the heck maybes. And no, yeah, no, that's it. That's it. No, period. You don't have to say anything else.
Okay. How about a mastermind dinner?
Mastermind dinner. Wow, that sounds fun. So I like masterminds because when two or more are gathered, they say that God is present. So when you have many minds together, you can come up with ideas, plans, strategies, and dinner is always a good idea. I love eating. So yeah, mastermind dinner sounds delightful.
So, Rebecca, thank you again for that. What is your safe house?
My safe house is my home. I actually have a dedicated area where I feel really safe, and I encourage everyone to have a dedicated area where they do their morning practice. I call it my throne. I have like a leather couch, and there's a little corner with lots of pillows and blankets. And right next to me is my spiritual literature and my abundance journal. And that corner, no matter what happens, no matter how much rejection I get, when I land in that corner, I'm like, oh, I'm back to my safe house again. They can't touch me here.
Okay. And Rebecca is
Love.
okay. And the last word is going to be back to basics.
Back to basics is everything. If we have the basics covered in life, we're happy. Happiness is not getting what you want, it's wanting what you have. So if you look at gratitude, the fastest way to go from a scarcity mentality to an abundance mentality is gratitude. And you can be grateful for things that we don't even think about. Like, I'm grateful for having all 4 limbs, 10 fingers, 10 toes, all internal organs working, all 5 senses working. I'm grateful for food and shelter. I'm grateful for a car and a cell phone and a computer and a Wi-Fi so we can have this incredible conversation. And then you build from there. But if you are just focusing on the simple things in life, do you know 70% of the world doesn't even have indoor plumbing? And we just take it for granted. We don't even think, oh, I get to have a shower, or I get to not have to walk to the well to get my water. I get to have a refrigerator that makes ice. Like, so many people don't have these luxuries. I'm so grateful for simple things like appliances, like a toaster, like washing machine and dryer. Many people in the world, billions, don't even have these things. So when I'm in gratitude and I'm thinking of just the basic things that I have, I get happy.
Mm. Yeah, thank you again for playing that rapid fire round. Hopefully, I didn't really struggle you too much on certain things.
No, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you again for that. Let me ask you this. For the happy place that you were talking about, the corner, right? Is there a happy place for music, movies, or books that you read that are kind of resonates with you that makes you you?
Yeah, I mean, everything. I watch TV there, I watch movies there, and I do like to read there. It is just, a safe place where I feel very comfortable. And when I give up that couch, that'll be a sad day. I mean, the couch is leather, and it's got a tear in it already. But yeah, I do. I just like to relax there. And that goes back to our conversation about burnout. We can't just always be go, 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 and always be work, work, work. We have to have a place where we feel relaxed.
Yeah.
And that's that, corner of that leather sofa for me.
Yeah. So thank you again, Rebecca, for coming on Back to Basics. But before you leave and before we end this episode today, do you have any last words or last, words to all my Back to Basic listeners and viewers? And how is your journey on Back to Basics too? On top of that,
Yeah. How did I find you?
how did you? What did you feel about Back to Basics on this journey?
Yeah, I love being on the show. This is an incredible podcast. Your questions are incredible. You're a great host. I love the rapid fire because I like a challenge and I like thinking fast. And I think you have a great message. Um, what is important for me to share before I leave is to stay in the moment. Depression is thinking about the past. Anxiety is thinking about the future. Happiness is in the moment. What are you doing right now? Right now, I am, holding my tea. I'm talking to Girish. I'm in the moment. And if you can't get in the moment, focus on your 5 senses. What are you feeling? What are you hearing? What are you touching? What are you tasting? And when you feel anxiety, you're like, "Oh, I caught myself. I'm getting too far ahead. What is the next thing I can do right now to move myself forward on my journey?" Just do the next indicated action. Don't worry about the future. Be in the step you're in, and the future will take care of itself and it will be better than you ever imagined. So, get my abundance journal. It will help you. I'll give my link to Girish, it'll be in my link tree, and that will help you stay in the mindset that we cultivated during this incredible conversation.
Yeah, Rebecca, thank you again for coming on Back to Basics, sharing all the nuggets about burnout because it is a real thing, it is a natural thing. But how to, come over that is the real struggle, and people are struggling with that, and we should help them in every different ways. But Rebecca, thank you again for coming here and supporting me on the small podcast that I have here.
It's been an honor. I look forward to listening to more of your awesome episodes. And thank you to all your wonderful listeners for tuning in. I hope to stay in touch with you guys. You can find me on Instagram and Clubhouse at Rebecca E. Whitman, Twitter at Rebecca E. Whitman, and my website where you can find out more is RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com. And I look forward to staying in touch. And you can ask me any questions you want about burnout or anything else we discussed on this show.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you again, Rebecca, for coming here.
Thank you.
So So, guys, today we spoke with Rebecca, didn't we? And we talked about burnout. Burnout is a really real thing. You can take that as a disease, you can take that as a regular routine or a struggle. But there's one thing that I did learn from her is that safe house, or I should say the safe place, a happy place, is so necessary. For her, it could be the couch. For me, it could be my podcast, listening to you, talking to everyone in the world. But everyone's safe house a little different. For me, I mean, I like to sit on the corner, maybe have a beer or something like that, and listen to music. Because I feel that that's one of the things that it makes me natural, because that's one thing that makes me remember my dad. Now, as usual, as always, there's a quote of the day, and hopefully Rebecca will like that. The quote of the day is, burnout is nature's way to telling you that you have been going through the motions your soul has departed. Now, guys, as usual, as always, what do we always say? We always say everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, we got a few more episodes to go on Back to Basic Mode Wisdom. Please support and love all the stuff that I've done for Back to Basics, because you know what? I'm almost done with season 3, and season 4 is going to be banging on awesome, because I have some amazing guests coming on there. So please take care. Love you guys. I'll see you next week on Back to Basics. Rebecca, how was that?
That was incredible. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you again. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, that was great. I love the rapid fire, and I can tell you did your research because all the rapid fire questions were speaking into my expertise. So I appreciate that.
No, of course. Hi, guys.
what-
Thank you again for tuning in to Back to Basics and listening to the excellent episode that we had today with our guest. You know, with your love and support, we do need you to at least rate our show, review our show, because it does make us stronger day by day, week by week, as I usually say on my episodes. And there are 3 things in this episode that it makes a hit for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. So guys, take care, God bless, and remember, everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and see you next time on Back to Basics.